Hello, grade 8. Our biology lesson today is about the immune system. First of all, I'm going to talk about the actors of the immune response. The immune system includes the organs of production, maturation, and storage of immune cells. The organ of production is the bone marrow, and the organs of maturation are the bone marrow and the thymus. The immune system also includes the leukocytes or white blood cells of different types. We have the phagocytes and we have the B and T lymphocytes. It also includes the molecules produced by these cells, which are mainly antibodies. Types of the immune response. We already know that we have the non-specific immune response and the specific immune response. Phagocytosis constitutes the first line of defense against microbial invasion. Phagocytosis is a non-specific immune response. The specific immune response is triggered when phagocytosis is unable to stop the progression and the proliferation of microbes. The specificity, the amplification, and the immunological memory are three important characteristics of the specific immune response. This table shows a comparison between the non-specific immunity and the specific immunity. We can see that the non-specific immune response is antigen independent. It means it is identical regardless of the antigen's identity. So the non-specific immune response is not antigen specific. But the specific immune response is antigen dependent. It means it depends on the identity of the antigen. It is antigen specific. Let's continue with the types of the immune response. As mentioned before, phagocytosis is a non-specific immune response. What happens during phagocytosis? Phagocytes leave the blood capillaries heading toward the site of infection. They engulf microorganisms and digest them with digestive enzymes. Phagocytosis stops infection in most cases. Now let's move to the specific immune response. Here we have two categories. First, specific humoral immune response. Slower reactions take place when phagocytosis is not enough. The microorganism carries or produces molecules the body recognizes as non-self. It means as antigen. Recognition of these molecules triggers the proliferation of lymphocytes. Activated B lymphocytes secrete antibodies that bind to the antigens and neutralize them. Some activated B lymphocytes are kept as memory cells. The binding of the antibodies to the antigen forms an immune complex that is eliminated by phagocytosis. Second category is the cell-mediated specific immune response. Some microbes, such as viruses, develop inside the cells. Only T lymphocytes are able to eliminate them. Activated T lymphocytes proliferate and then turn into killer T lymphocytes that destroy infected cells in contact with. Now let's move to the disorders of the immune system. Allergies are due to an exaggerated immune response to certain types of antigens called allergens. Allergies are related to the excessive production of a particular type of antibodies that we call IgE by the immune system in response to exposure to an allergen. Some of the symptoms that an allergy may cause are the appearance of rash, vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes difficulties in breathing. Now this picture shows the mechanism of allergy. What happens during an allergy? A sensitization reaction occurs during a first contact with the allergen. That reaction affects certain B lymphocytes that secrete IgE antibodies. These antibodies bind to specific cells that produce molecules responsible for the allergic reaction. So during the second contact with the allergen, These cells release the molecules responsible for the allergic reaction that result in asthma or eczema, for example. Immunodeficiencies. Immune defense developed by an organism may have deficiencies, some of which are innate, while others are acquired. A deficiency is a failure of the immune system to defend effectively the body against infections. We have two types. An innate immunodeficiency happens when, at birth, some children are unable to fight against attacks of microorganisms. There's an absence of immune cells or presence of ineffective immune cells. Second type is the acquired immunodeficiency. The most important is the AIDS caused by HIV virus. So, the AIDS caused by HIV virus, the HIV virus infects T4 lymphocytes, destructs them, and the immune system becomes weak and many diseases might appear. This graph shows the evolution of the amount of HIV and T4 lymphocytes during the 3 phases of AIDS. During primary infection phase, which is from 3 to 8 weeks after contamination, the amount of HIV virus increases to the maximum, and that of T4 lymphocytes is high and constant. But this amount is higher than that of the virus. This also lasts during the asymptomatic phase. But as long as the amount of T4 lymphocytes is high, that of the virus is low. And when the amount of T4 lymphocytes decreases, that of the virus increases and the AIDS phase is declared. So we can say that the amount of HIV virus depends on the amount of T4 lymphocytes. Vaccination and serotherapy. Vaccination is a preventive method based on the principle of the immune memory. Vaccination consists of injecting the body by an attenuated or killed antigen. It has a durable and specific action. Serotherapy is a curative method. It consists of transferring a serum to the body that contains a specific antigen. This serum contains antibodies specific for this antigen. Serotherapy has a specific and curative action. It provides a protection that is curative but not durable. This picture shows a vaccination. What happens during a vaccination? So at first contact with the attenuated antigen, a primary immune reaction is triggered and stimulates the production of lymphocytes specific for this antigen. Some are transformed into antibody-secreting lymphocytes, while others are kept in memory. We call them memory lymphocytes. In the second contact with the same antigen, memory lymphocytes recognize the antigen and immediately produce a large amount of specific lymphocytes and antibodies. So the vaccine can protect the body from the microbes based on the immune memory. Multiple aid to the immune response. Here we have several techniques that can help the immune response. First, we have the aseptic technique in the operating room. Aseptic technique is a preventive method that aims to prevent contamination by pathogenic microorganisms by sterilization of the surrounding external environment. Second, we have the use of antiseptic products. Antiseptic products are required to disinfect the wound on the skin and reduce the risk of infection. These products are available in pharmacies. We also have the antibiotherapy. It is the use of antibiotics to prevent or slow down the growth of microbes. And finally, chemotherapy is a treatment against pathogens based on the use of chemical substances. Thank you for watching.